and welcome to the 2014 FIM X-Trial World Championship for round 4 of the title race. Today we're in the Mediolanum Forum on the southern tip of the city of Milan to see whether Tony Bow can take the title with a round to spare. Whatever the result today, this should be an exciting trial. A full look at the official lineup then. James Dable, Albert Cabestan, Adam Raga and Tony Bow are the 4 riders to qualify for today's grand final, the 4th round of the FIM X-Trial World Championship. And the starting positions for the final will, as ever, be decided by the double lanes. Dable and Cabestan getting off to a fairly level start, but it's now the elder of the 2 riders, the Spaniard Cabestan, who's accelerating away out in front. Really has been a master of the double lanes this season and is showing it again. He's comfortably ahead now of James Dable, who struggled to get down off the top of the triangle and is a good 6 or 7 bike lengths behind Albert Cabestan, who comes to the finish with ease. And it's Albert Cabestan who will continue on in this winner stays on double lane contest as he now takes on Adam Raga. James Dable will be the first rider to tackle section 1 in the final, a severe disadvantage for the Brit. And Albert Cabestan has again got off to the better start in the second of the double lanes. A couple of bike lengths ahead of Adam Raga. Not quite so easy this time over the green blocks for Cabestan. He's lost the back wheel off the end of the section as he makes the turn, but he's still fractionally ahead. Raga trying to fight back as they come over the wooden element of the double lane race, but it's Cabestan who's got the front wheel up first, and Albert Cabestan takes a second consecutive double lane victory, showing once again his mastery of the double lanes. Bit of chat now between Cabestan and Tony Bow before they take one another on. In the last of the double lanes, will Tony Bow be the final rider in today's grand final? He's streaked away for an early advantage. And Albert Cabestan not able to make anything back because Tony Bow just hasn't made a mistake. Gradually exerting his influence on this double lane race. Through the skips for the final time, and it's Tony Bow who takes a win. No surprises in the end in the final double lane. But Albert Cabestan has improved his seeding position by virtue of good performances there in those double lane races. So Dable, Raga, Cabestan and Bow is the order for today's grand final. Section number 1 up first. The yellow zone, the cubes. 2 cube staircases comprise the elements for this zone. The second of them, the steepest and most challenging. This is the first. James Dable, who's finished 4th in 5 of the last 6 X-Trial competitions in which he's competed, won't want to finish 4th again. He comes into the final as the 4th seed, of course, the first rider to tackle this first section. Already he's dropped a foot, so that's going to cost him an early mark. And he's under time pressure as well. He's not getting through this section with a great deal of alacrity. James Dable under some pressure here, but he's making some progress. Remember, this is only the first element of this section number 1. The hardest hazard is still to come. Dable encouraged on the back wheel here, just preparing himself for a leap. And a good piece of work there from James Dable. Comes down the other side. Now he's got to refocus because this is the steepest hazard of the section. He couldn't even get the front wheel up onto the second cube, and it's 5 marks dropped for James Dable. Disappointment in the first section of today's grand final. Adam Raga up next. An excellent record in Milan for the Spaniard, on the podium on all 6 of his appearances in this arena. Quite a unique achievement. 2 victories as well to his name. It's been some time though since he last won here in Milan, or indeed in any other X-Trial. Tony Bow really dominating this competition in recent seasons. Adam Raga, the closest to defeating Bow in 2014, will want to get off to a good start in section 1 after losing out in the double lane race. Nonetheless, he has had the opportunity to see James Dable take on the cubes. Double step of cubes here for Adam Raga, the first rider to tackle this section. Gets himself part way, gets a little further than James Dable, the front wheel up onto the top cube, but he's frustrated with his performance because he, like James Dable before him, has dropped 5 marks from section 1. Albert Cabestan, the next rider up, the winner of the Milan X-Trial back in 2007, and a regular podium finisher this season, hasn't been out of the top 3 yet in 2014. We're keen to make sure that record continues. If he scores anything other than a 5 in this section 1, then he will put himself into a provisional podium position. Cabestan Working his way through the first element of this section number 1. And down the other side without too much difficulty. Now he sets himself up for the big one. And like Ragga before him, he gets his front wheel up onto the top cube, but can't do any more than that. And Cabestan, Ragga and Debel are all now tired on 5. And that begs the question, is this section possible? Well, if anyone can make it possible, it's Tony Bow. The raw sound of Tony Bow's machine as he prepares for the first element of this section number 1. Given precise instructions for the wheels by his Catalan minder. Down the other side for Tony Bow. Now we'll see if this one's possible. Oh my goodness, Tony Bow's pulled it off. And he didn't even make it look too difficult either. He knows the enormity of what he's done there. Taking a 5-point lead in today's grand final. Incredible stuff from Tony Bow. On to section 2 then. 3 riders all tied for second position at the moment, all on 5. Of course, if there is a tie, it goes down to seeding position based on the double lane results. And that's bad news for James Debel. The same section that these riders faced up to in the semi-finals. And Debel didn't learn from his mistake in the semi-stages as he crashes down to another 5 in section 2. Adam Ragga next up. Well, he got through this in the semi-finals, but he's not going to get through it in the final. He was slipping back there and his minder had to grab the front wheel. And that is a major surprise because once a rider completes a section, you'd expect them to be able to do it again. Now we'll see if Albert Cabestan can manage it. 3 riders failed this section in the semi-final stages. 2 have failed in the final so far. Cabestan was one of the riders to fail in the semis, but he hasn't done so in today's grand final. 1 penalty mark there for use of the machine, but other than that, Cabestan has been faultless so far. And a very good start indeed to today's grand final. He dropped 5 marks in section 1, admittedly, but now he's going to run clear into second position in the standings of the final. As Albert Cabestan drops just 1 mark, Ragga and Debel both drop 5 there. And he has a 4-point lead now over Ragga and Debel in the battle for the podium positions. Tony Bow next up. If he can run clear in this one, he will give himself a 6-point lead. No difficulty getting onto that top ledge. What can you say about this man? Absolutely incredible. Albert Cabestan was under no real time pressure when he took on this section last time out. Did it under 50 seconds, and Tony Bow is going to be even faster here. 38.9 seconds. Tony Bow just making it look easy. We need a new time category just for this man. Section 3 for James Debel. This should be the most challenging of the sections here tonight. An amended route to the semi-final tyre section. This one poses even greater difficulty. Just to get to that 5-metre high tyre is now a chore, and then once the riders get to it, Debel on top of it at the moment. He's got to come down the other side, and then he's got to throw the machine up to the top. No rider, aside from Tony Bow, has managed to complete it so far. Debel up to the top of that tyre stack. Already the 60-second timer has elapsed, so if Debel gets through this section, he's going to find himself penalised on time. But I don't think he'll mind too much if he can get over this tyre. Up he goes! He can't get there! Debel falling back to the ground. And it's 5 more marks. James Debel yet to complete a section in the grand final here in Milan. He's frustrated and disappointed. Albert Cabestan was the first rider onto the scene after Debel's fall. Adam Ragga, the next rider up to tackle this section 3. He can move into a more comfortable looking podium position. If he clears this section, he's guaranteed a top 3 finish, regardless of what happens in section 4. Struggling there, Adam Ragga's dropped a mark on that landing. A foot fault there. Now he's got to get up onto the top of this tyre stack, 3 tyres high, but he has got the advantage of coming from a tyre. Does that easily enough there, Adam Raga. Now he can settle himself down for the big one. The 5-metre high tyre already scored with the marks of rubber from the riders who've attempted it, but Adam Raga, second time around, still can't get through. And his chance to guarantee a podium finish goes by the wayside. This is the big one. 6 marks separate Tony Bow from Albert Cabastan. If Albert Cabastan drops 5 here, Tony Bow cannot be beaten in this X-Trial in Milan, and he will be crowned the world champion. Bow watching on. A lot of focus here, not only from Albert Cabastan, but from the entire press corps, from Tony Bow as well. A lot of pressure on Albert Cabastan to see whether he can take this championship at least another section further. 5 marks for Cabastan here, and it's all over. He hasn't dropped anything so far. Here we go, this is the moment that could decide the championship. Albert Cabastan for the 5-metre high tyre, he can't get there, and that's enough. That's enough to confirm that Tony Bow has won here in Milan. No great reaction from Tony Bow. No doubt he wants to celebrate in style on the section. Typical of the man that he wants to perform an exhibition now for the crowd. But with an 11-point lead and 2 sections still to negotiate for Bow, he cannot be beaten in Milan, and that gives him the championship. So, your 2014 world champion, Tony Bow, hasn't really been in doubt since the early rounds when he really did stamp his authority on the championship race, and the others were stealing points off one another, but not off Tony Bow. And now we'll see if he can pull off this 5-metre high tyre. He struggled with it first time around. He's done it even more easily second time. Tony Bow gets to the top of the Milan signature hazard. He's already confirmed as the champion. I think we're about to see the biggest celebration of the night so far. Tony Bow wins in Milan and takes the 2014 X-Trial World Championship. With a section to spare, he's done it here in Milan. Tony Bow, the dominant force in 2014. Well, there's still a matter of the podium positions to be decided. Daybil and Raga coming level into this one. But Daybil cannot now make the podium because he's dropped to 5 on the first hazard of section 4, the blue zone. The main challenge of this one is 2 upright cylinders, but Daybil didn't even get that far. Raga's cleared the first element of this 4th section. And down across the other side, now he'll start to prepare for the first of the 2 upright cylinders. That's number 1 out of the way. And now back down the other side. The tougher of the 2 is this second one, because he's got to come down from quite a height and with no run-up at all. He can't move the back wheel any further because there's a cylinder blocking him. He's fired himself up. He's going to get a penalty point for that, no doubt about it. He was resting on the machine for some time, but Adam Raga gets through. And in a time of 57.9, so he had 2 seconds to spare, but he's cost himself a mark. That means that he is guaranteed a podium finish. Albert Cabastan, the next rider up. And even if he drops a 5 here, he would beat Adam Raga on countback. So all 4 positions now are decided for today's grand final. Daybil will finish 4th. Raga will finish 3rd. Cabastan will finish in 2nd position. Tony Bow, of course, your winner once again in Milan. Cabastan negotiating the first cylinder then. This is all about pride now. Great shots from above, seeing the layout of the sections as Cabastan prepares. Beautifully done. He's through to the other side, and Albert Cabastan drops 2 penalty marks. He's inside time, 57.7, but 2 marks. So he finishes on 13, but it made no real difference. Even if he dropped 5, he was still second in today's event. Couldn't catch Tony Bow, who has a 12-point lead over Albert Cabastan. He's only dropped 1 mark in the entirety of the sections. That's 13 sections so far today, and he's dropped 1 mark. An incredible performance from Tony Bow, and that's the reason that he's world champion this season with a round to spare. Builds up for the last hazard of section 4. Can he get through this one clear? Taking a long time to prepare himself for the final cylinder. But he's up! Tony Bow clears yet another section here in Milan and takes the win, as well as the victory in the championship with his success in front of the Italian crowd. He's very popular here, as he is at most of the arena around Europe where these championships take place. Tony Bow with a back wheel celebration. Well, it wouldn't be just if it wasn't the back wheel that this man was using to celebrate. He's made all of his successes using it during the 2014 season, unbeaten in the entirety of this campaign. So in the end, neither Albert Cabastan nor Adam Raga were even close, not able to get within 10 points of Bow in the final. And while they each failed sections, Bow dropped just a point to come out on top once again. The only battle that remains in the championship now is for second between Albert Cabastan and Adam Raga.
I'm happy with my riding. In qualifying I was second, semi-final 2, and then in the final, in the second section I get a puncture at the start and I 5 it, so a little bit unlucky to be finally in the third place.
Well, I'm really happy today because I think overall I ride really well during all the race, so that's important because in the last races, especially in Barcelona, I had a really bad feeling, so it was important here to arrive and to ride well, and I think I must be happy. I rode quite good. The only problem is Tony, that it's too good, but anyway, he deserves. I'm happy for him. I'm happy to leave this with him also, but the only thing I can say is that I'm really happy about the result, because we bite a little bit more the second place. That, being realistic, is what we can afford. Now we are maybe closer, but nothing is done, just 6 points with Adam. So we will look forward to the last round and try to keep the same way than today.
Yeah, I think it's a fantastic moment again, because it's number 8, but it's special again. I think my race today is fantastic. I riding incredible in the qualification, in the semi-final, and in the final. I think it's more than this is impossible. I'm very happy.
So with the win for Tony Bow, he gains an unassailable 26-point championship lead. Albert Cabastan takes a 6-point advantage over Adam Raga into Oviedo, and James Dable moves up to 4th in the title race. But of course, today it's a day of celebration for Tony Bow, as he makes it an incredible record of 40 wins from 60 starts in X-Trail competition. In the end, neither Albert Cabastan nor Adam Raga were even close. The question is, when will that run of 25 consecutive wins finally be halted?